sweet trees.
Hey folks, it's Babbage here. We're back in the Long Dark. I'm back after my trip to Montreal. It's good to be here. We are still doing a Matchless run. That's where we left off. It's middle of the night though. I think we are thinking about heading out. Where are we heading out? I don't know what we're doing. To leave for a week. Can't remember a thing. We have some sticks. I think we might. No, it sounds terrible. What were we doing? 5 hours. Were we going to sleep? You know, we're all rested up. Look at that. Hey, Rootbeard. I was there for a week from Sunday until Saturday. No, it was fun. I was there for a conference. Honestly, I don't remember what we did this do. Yeah, so yeah. Weather looks nice. Did we already grab coal? We grabbed some coal. Yeah, I was there for DHSI, that's Digital Humanities Summer Institute. I took a class on GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. So basically learning a set of tools for using, and also like the theory or the approach behind why we would want to do spatial analysis in the humanities. I really have no idea what I was trying to do here. So we have a little bit of sticks. We have torches. We have water. We have a little bit of food. Do we have a sewing kit now? We do have a sewing kit. Do we have any cloth? One piece of cloth. A birch to lay down. I really can't remember what we were going to do. We should have made a note of this. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The conference itself was great. The class I had was excellent. The people I met were good. I saw a few people I saw last year, so that was nice to reconnect with a few of those people, as well as to meet some new people. Food was fantastic. Lots of walking because I stayed on campus in the dorms, which turned out to be the opposite side of campus from where our classrooms were. So long walk every morning. All told, I think we were averaging about 10,000 steps a day. That's what I was doing. With one day I peaked at 15,000 steps, so it's like a lot of walking. Oh yeah, sunsets were gorgeous. Yeah, everything was great about it, except the on-campus accommodations, the dorms. Beds were kind of uncomfortable, and the walls were very thin. And yeah, so it was hard to get a full night's sleep or a good night's sleep. You could rest without really resting. So I did feel pretty exhausted by the end of the week. But other than that, it was a good experience. So I have enabled some, but not all, the new graphics improvements. So you may notice little shadow things here and there. The most of the locals were very nice. I did not get cursed at, so. Where have we been so far? Trappers. Trappers. We haven't been over to the camp office. Oh, we have a hammer already? Wow. What are we going to do with a hammer? Gonna go forging already? Do we have any... Oh, is this our problem? This is our problem, I think. We have no torches left. That's what it is. So we have no means to start a fire. We need to find flares. So we were already got the flares there. I think probably our best bet is to try to get to the camp office. Okay. So I think this is our emergency backup plan, is to keep this burning. Take a few more torches with us and go to camp office, see if we can get... So we have a hammer now. That's good. I think our plan should probably be to go coastal highway. I don't know, we're really close to Forlorn Muskeg. Maybe... Do we have a hacksaw? We have a hacksaw and a hammer. Let's find some more means to start a fire, and then we will... Okay, let's go around the other way. I think we'll go to camp office and see if we get lucky. I don't know. Where are we going to get flares? It's like we're really hoping for a firestriker. Is what we're hoping for. Torchless on Timberwolf Mountain. Sounds like a romance novel. Sparks fly on Timberwolf Mountain. Uh-oh.
I need to find some place to escape this cold.
Where'd it go? Didn't you see it? It was right there, and then it disappeared.
Wait, I'm so cold, I'm warming up a bit.
So I started this run just before I left, after we lost our third attempt at Torchless. So this is technically our fourth attempt. But the thing we're most concerned about is that we are already running out of means to start fires. So yeah, we made it 14 days before we got jumped by wolves in Aurora. No, one wolf in Aurora. We're trying to do better this time around. Ooh. Uh-oh. Go away.
I could eat a horse.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. I think trying to make it a broken railroad without a fire source is going to be really bad. But none of them are like easy paths to take when you are out of means of starting fires. The fire we're holding is the only fire we have. Okay, let's hop indoors. We have a lousy starts in Civ 7. Yep. Okay, let's see what we got here.
This will come in handy.
That will come in handy. Let's see. Anything? Anything? I didn't find a mag lens. Oh, but the mag lens is here. Look at us. We've got longevity. That's better than we had before. Okay, come on, guys. Should be a cooking pot here. Oh, look, there's a skillet here as well. The real question is, how are we going to keep this fire going?
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Okay, I'm going to pause very briefly to go and find some Kleenex because suddenly I have a runny nose. Hey, we're back.
I need something to eat.
Okay, let's see what we got here. You know, we may just drop these, not worry about them this playthrough. Let's see. Derailment, logging camp, name pond. Okay, let's see. Let's go break something big. Okay, let's see. Let's see, do we have bandages? We got 2 bandages. 2 hours. Let's use that to grab as much cloth and wood as we can. Okay. I think we're going to make a run for it. It's a little gusty. I'm not feeling good about this. Situations like this, I am inclined to see how far I can get. Well, we still don't have a bedroll, do we? No, we don't. What is the best chance for a bedroll? Don't know, honestly. Okay, we can hope for a flare up in the tower. Oh, we should have made ourselves hand wraps and head covering.
Where can I find something to eat? I can't feel my hands.
Yeah, lots of places to check.
It's so cold.
I'm getting a little nervous though. I feel like the wind's picking up again. It's the ptarmigan. Nope.
I'll take it. Come on, little fire.
We're gonna need some new torches here.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's not much, but it is something. We're covered properly now. Oh, look at that window outside. That is not friendly. Not good. No, it's just foggy. Okay, Leave that as our backup. Yeah, we don't have much time before dark, so let's try to rush our way. To the dam. The dam definitely will have flares. So how's everyone doing tonight? Everyone doing well? Guess we'll go down here. Today was not too bad. It was kind of slow for a while. I've been spending the last few days, well, before my trip and then today and yesterday, I've been trying to track down a particular bug in my code for one particular project I've been working on. And trying to figure out why we just mysteriously have been gaining a whole bunch of extra data that we're not supposed to have in that data set. And then I finally tracked it down to the fact that I had included an extra, I'd pulled extra data that I didn't need to pull. It had made sense at the time, but our needs had changed, and I hadn't corrected the code to reflect the switch in, like, the parameters of the data set. So I was accidentally pulled extra data that I didn't need, and then suddenly we had like 6,000 extra entries that we didn't need. So I was like, oh, this is what happened. But anyways, annoying, irritating, overlooked error, but I was able to finally find it, fix it. So tomorrow morning I'll do a little bit more testing, then I'll release it back to the research team, and hopefully that will help them move on to the next step, and then I can refocus my time on a different project on a different team that's related to an AI project. Which has its own share of bugs that haven't been figured out yet. So but I did go to a friend's birthday dinner tonight before stream. I was just barely got back in time to start. A little bit later than usual, but still be able to start. Yeah, so it was at a Japanese restaurant. The food was excellent. So it was fun. We kind of compared notes on recent movies we'd seen and talked about some of the some creative writing related stuff. But yeah, a little bit about 80s nostalgia as well. One of the other writers there was just a few months younger than me, so grew up in the same sort of period. I would like to stay and cook up this guy, but we don't have a flare. So if this fire goes out, we'll be completely out of luck. Can't really afford it, so we have to keep moving. Yeah, they fixed that so you can't do it with a hacksaw anymore. Go away. Go away. So on the flight to Montreal and the flight back, I had opportunities to watch a lot of movies because it was a 5-hour flight. So it's enough time to watch 2 movies each way. So trying to think what I watched. I watched a Korean horror film, kind of suspense thriller film. Called Project Silence, which is about government trained dogs controlled by computer chips and programmed to attack things that make noise, that obviously escape inside of a tunnel. So all the cars are caught up in a massive pile up, and dogs get free, and the military is trying to cover it up. Anyways, that one was, it was okay. It was entertaining as action. It wasn't deep or profound. I did watch another one called Finch, which is a Tom Hanks movie. I think came out last year. But basically Tom Hanks plays a kind of a traveling environmental engineer in a post-apocalyptic environment where there's been a solar flare that has destroyed most of the world's ozone layer. So basically, if you're in the sunlight, you would burn very, very quickly. So he travels in kind of a converted camper van, makes his base wherever he can in sort of old power plants and things like that, and has a dog called Dog, or at least that's the name that they use most of the time, and let's see, kind of a Mars rover type robot that helps carry things, scavenges things. And then he decides that he's going to build a companion robot for his dog. So like a humanoid bipedal robot that talks. To be sort of a companion, someone who can have conversations with, but also someone who can, because he recognizes he's in poor health and that he may not live, but the dog will probably outlive him, so he decides that he's building the robot to care for the dog. Tries to train it to do that. As they decide to head to the West Coast. So, it is kind of a movie about artificial intelligence, but it's not really about artificial intelligence. It's really more about, making family and trust and what it takes to live a life. So it was actually, I mean, there are parts of it that definitely felt like the version of AI they're representing is really, really optimistic and over the top. But yeah, like I said, ultimately it isn't really about AI. It is more about isolation and family. In that respect, I thought it was very good. Anything else? Nothing else. But yeah, I'd never heard of the movie before. It was just one of the offerings, and I figured I'd give it a try.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
Oh, not used to finding pry bars here. But we'll take it. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what else I watched. I know I watched 4 movies total. Oh, I watched A Complete Unknown by Bob Dylan because someone had recommended it to me. And I thought they were right about the fact that in terms of music, it's a fantastic movie. Dream Scenario. I don't think I've ever seen Dream Scenario.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
I feel like watching Nick Cage is all about, well, I don't know. It's just, you get such a weird variety of stuff, right? It's like his abilities are all over the place. Sometimes he's absolutely fantastic, and sometimes the movie is a complete dud, and he's just doing it for
Come on, little fire.
the cash.
Perfect. And this pack is getting kind of heavy.
We still don't have a bedroll. That's a problem. The various classes of Nicolas Cage, yeah. Those of you who are lurking who haven't figured out what we're doing a challenge run in Interloper in which I'm not allowed to use matches. So we're trying to live as long as we can without matches. So far, my record's been 14 days, and we were defeated not by the matches or the cold, no, by an Aurora wolf that leapt out, and we were unable to escape. Ooh.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Need some work. Oh, it was worth coming down here. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else saw Complete Unknown, but it was interesting. I really enjoyed the music. I enjoyed a lot of the storytelling. And it is true, you come away feeling like you don't really know Bob Dylan. You realize no one really knows Bob Dylan, you know. And then also that he was kind of a jerk to a lot of the women in his life. And kind of to everyone, to some degree.
I think I can use this.
Ooh. We got a cap. That was pretty cool. Aviator cap. No lantern this time, though. New Tom Petty and Heartbreakers documentary.
This'll come in handy.
I've still been meaning to watch the Tragically Hip documentary. Whoa, Filthy McNasty, welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders. Big raid, folks. Big raid. Let's do a shout out to Healthy. We are continuing our Matchless run. Yeah, so this is our current challenge, which is a silly one. We are going Interloper without matches. So our record so far has been 14 days, and we lost that run to an Aurora Wolf. Looks like we're too far down. So we are back with a newer run, trying to survive. Need more torches.
Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Yeah, welcome in, folks. So if you're new to this channel, I've been playing The Long Dark now for quite some time, since about the late beta, so in 2017, before the official release, I started. And played a lot. Over 3,500 hours right now is where we're at in the game, most of which is Interloper. They are nasty rolls, yeah. But, I mean, we did start off pretty well. It's what now? Day 2. Let's get inside before we lose our torch. It is day 2. And we already have pot, skillet, hacksaw, hammer, pry bar, the quality tools, sewing kit. Yeah. Let's leave this to Cure as well. Yeah, we need the firestriker to make our day, but getting the mag lens was a big plus, right? So, and I'm pretty certain we should be able to find at least one more flare in here somewhere. So how'd your stream go? Nasty? What were you up to? Let's see. What did a shout out, right? And Long Dark. Okay. Okay, I think usually we can find a flare in here. Got your forge on day 11. That's pretty good. It's taking forever. There we are.
I'll take it.
It's not what we're hoping for. We're hoping for flares. Not looking good. Yeah, we still don't have a bed. Okay, we got a problem, don't we? We don't have a flare and we don't have a bed. Yeah, we can always check there. I know where to look. Ooh. Thanks, man. I think we'll go for another 15 minutes and then I'll call it a night. We'll read some poetry to wrap up and then we will move on to... No. Then I will bring the raid over to someone else and get my own sleep in. Yeah, weirdly enough, that was actually when the first, after they refreshed everything,
Come on.
that was my first sleeping bag, my first bedroll find was right there. I was like, what? I just said check it out on a whim, and there it was. Okay. Hey, let's see if we can find that flare. Yeah, good night, folks. Thanks, Rootbeard. Take care and get some sleep. I'm pretty certain there is a flare we can grab up here. Oh, we're too tired to climb. Okay. That's okay.
If I can drop any of this gear.
Okay, let's push forward. Yeah, I'm feeling it too, Astrid. I'm feeling like I need to close my eyes too. Come on, where are the flares? Oh, I'm so tired. Okay. Oh boy, so sleepy. Oh, so tired. Okay. No, I got totally turned around here. Alright. Ugh, so tired. Okay, so can't believe we searched the whole place and didn't find any flares. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, what's hiding here?
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm concerned. Oh, we didn't go outside. That's probably what we should have done. Apparently I'm too tired to think straight here. Hey, this could go really badly right now. But
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
uh-oh. Uh-oh. Feeling a little disoriented and tired. Well, there's something here. But I was really hoping it would be bedroll. No bedroll. Okay, well, we're looking pretty rough right now. Hey, Termuse, thanks for the raid. We're actually finishing up here soon. This run is becoming increasingly ill-fated. So how was your run, Tormuse? What were you up to tonight?
Perfect.
Let's see. This is our 4th attempt. We lost our really good run. We made it to day 14, and then we got jumped by an Aurora Wolf. So, so then I was gone for a week. I was in Montreal, and I got back this weekend.
Yeah, wasn't expecting there to be Timberwolves here.
And
Oh, okay, that freaked me the hell out.
now I'm playing
Yikes.
catch up.
Okay, bad wolf. Don't activate no clip mode.
We have not found. We found a lot of stuff, but we have not found the bedroll. This is a problem. Okay, I think we're going to save here. We're on day 2, but we are exhausted. I am drifting off already myself, so day 2, almost day 3. I don't know why this, I guess it's because we haven't had a chance to sleep very much because we have to keep going. We're out of, so our current situation is we're out of torches. So we do have a mag lens. We could wait until daylight to start a fire. But other than that, we're really out of luck. We don't have a bedroll, so there's nowhere to sleep. Yeah, kind of rough times. So we are going to finish up here with poem, as is our custom. And there was actually a request for me to read a poem by someone else, and then maybe I'll read something of my own. So let me look through my collection here to see what we got. Well, maybe we'll do something a little different this time. I don't know about that. Let's see what else we got. I was like wondering where I put my glasses. Okay, so got my reading glasses on. And look at okay, sure, we'll do something from this. This is from my friend Todd Kaneko, who he has a wonderful book called The Dead Wrestler Elegies, which are all inspired by classic pro wrestlers from the I'd say from about, let's see, when does he start? Starts with Strangler Lewis. So from the 60s through to 2000s. Kind of the golden age of pro wrestling on TV. And what he noticed is that there is unfortunately, a very high level incidence of pro wrestlers dying tragically and early, whether through health complications or through mental health issues and depression, or some other thing has happened. And so he decided that he would write a bunch of elegies, poems that are dedicated to the memory of different pro wrestlers. Let's see if we can find something that's not too long here. But if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you're probably going to recognize some of these. Let's see here. It's a good one here. Well, we didn't have a lot of options for what to watch on TV. Okay. The Andre the Giant one is a little bit long. Okay, we'll just pick one at random here. You know what? I've read this one before, but this is still Yeah. Actually, this one, I'll read this one because this is, no, like second guessing myself. There's a shake. Pallbearer. Yokozuna. Earthquake. Mr. Perfect. Giant Baba. Okay, we'll just pick one. The Missing Link explains how to be a monster, from The Dead Wrestler Elegies by Todd Kaneko. Do not look at mirrors. Do not fight the urge to speak without consonants. Sharpen your antlers against a coral reef, fins against an elm tree, hooked teeth against a fire engine. Do not grow up. Loosen the needlework that fastens a man's soul to his bones to the names he is called by his children. Release a man from his skeleton, wrestle him out of his old skin, and let him rise, steaming into night. The referee's hand slapping the canvas 3 times is the last thing a man hears before he must reckon with his body's malfunction. Be reborn with a snake's complexion, a caveman's brow, terrify the crowd with a prehistoric tongue, words cracking more like thunderstorm than a song for the moon. Don't be afraid when you awake after a fight, your new body smeared with blood. Smash your head into a redwood, a mountain if you want, until the whole world lies in pieces at your feet. Try not to grow up to be like your father. End up exactly like your father. So one of the things I really love about these poems is that there are once an homage, a memory of, and kind of captures something of the life, the struggles, the character of them, the characters that they played, as well as some of the realities that they faced. So he did a lot of research into, all these different wrestlers to think about both the personas that they inhabited, as well as sort of the realities and the tragedies that they faced in their own lives. So I appreciate that level of commitment. And at the same time, that level of humanity. So he brings this empathy to each of them. Even though some of them died in a number of them suffered from CTE, from sort of multiple sustained brain injuries, from multiple concussions in the past. And one of the unfortunate side effects is that it impairs the ability that someone has to prevent them from doing violence to themselves or to others that they care for. And so, and there's this growing sense of helplessness to prevent one from enacting violence on other people. And so some of them end up taking, serious measures to stop themselves. And so, yeah. Okay, so we'll read one more thing. We'll read something from me. Yo, deep dude. Yeah. It's poetry, man. It's poetry. We go real deep and stuff. Let's pick something here. Let's go deep too. Let's another deep one. This is from Babbage's Dream. This is my second book of poetry, published by Sundress Publications in 2017. This poem is it is the penultimate poem, that is the second to last poem in the collection. Babbage here refers to Charles Babbage, 19th century mathematician who designed, partially built, but never finished what would have been the first general purpose programmable machine, i.e. a computer. It had all the divisions of a modern computer. It had memory. It had a central processing unit. It had short-term memory or registers. It had a printer. It had the ability to read instructions and punch cards and interpret them as either instructions or as data or as an address to go to retrieve additional instructions or data. So that's really how a modern computer works. So I kind of write this poem. This is one of the last poems in the book, and it imagines Babbage at the end of his life, in those last moments, reflecting on the life that he lived and the things that he finished or didn't finish. Babbage closing his eyes, 1871. What is it that you see rising from the gray, even as the lights dim, your heart and lungs clocking out after the long day of labor? The world slows, weary of the noise of other beings. You've said many things to rooms full of impenetrable minds, tried to lay down a map for those who might follow. What else can you do at the end? When there's no magic, when there's no language expansive enough to render what lies beating in the heart of every diagram you've sketched. Between these lines and the grand machine, invisible, intangible as a ghost-made miracle, you've lived out your years, crafted a home in the shadow of a dream. And now it is over. Outside, the organ grinders gather around the walls, their angry little boxes of gears stubbornly playing on, relentless in your final hour, though you fought them for years, drove them from the street lamps into the deeper night. They will not leave. They will not let go. So this final part of the poem here talks about the organ grinders. These are so in the 19th century, you had these guys that had these mechanical clockwork music boxes. So there's no talent or ability. They just grind away on these things and it plays music. And it's usually really bad music, really tinny, awful sounding music. Babbage launched a wholesale crusade against the organ grinders because he hated the sound of their music. And eventually he won and had laws enacted that prevented them from being like within blocks of where his warehouse was and where his home was, forcing them to be pushed out of sort of the more popular, because Babbage happened to live in one of the most he lived in a really, really popular area of London. He pushed them out of a very lucrative spot because basically the organ grinders were kind of extortionists. They would gather around people and play their music until people gave them money so that they would leave. So this is part of why Babbage hated them. Now, this feud was both ways. The organ grinders knew that Babbage had driven them out of their most lucrative neighborhoods. So when they found out that he was on his deathbed, dying, they actually gathered outside of his home within earshot and played and played and played and played. They've just sat there grinding their gears, churning their music boxes, driving him to madness. Such a miserable feud between these two. And totally, that's some spite. That's so ridiculous. But I think there's this underlying irony, right? Because what is it that they're producing? They're using machines to produce music. Now, I'm going to make a leap here, and I'm going to point out that in many ways, our modern equivalent to this is anything that generates something that has the appearance of art or music, but required no talent or ability. In other words, generative AI. So I think that's our modern equivalent, is people producing, massive amounts, a flood of meaningless and artless, largely artless work that just drives us mad. So, yeah, so exactly. So, anyways, so that's kind of modern insight into that as well. But that's from Babbage's Dream. If you enjoyed these poems, please do feel free to check out more of my work on my website. You can also find information about where to purchase the books. They are available on Amazon, especially if you're in the US. They should be very, very available on Amazon and bookstores. In Canada, it's a little bit trickier. I think Babbage's Dream is available on Amazon. And The Lost Country of Sight, which is my first book, it doesn't really have great distribution to Canada, so it will be difficult to track down. So if you're Canadian and want to get a copy of the book, just send me a whisper, send me a message, and we'll see if we can work something out. Yeah. Anyways, I think we're going to wrap up here, and we'll find someone to raid. Thanks for hanging out with me. And let's see who we got left here. And I'll be back on Thursday night. Who do we got? Igor's Lair, Molly Murderer, Rihanna Bainey, Portuguese. Okay, so let's see. Slinger of No Guns. Slinger. We haven't seen Slinger for a while. Maybe we'll do Slinger. Slinger is doing 50 days per region. Oh, wow. That's hardcore. I'm in favor of this. That sounds like fun. Okay, so let's see how Slinger's doing with his 50 days. He's already in day 400 something. So things must be going well. Okay, so thank you all for hanging out with me. We're going to be back again on Thursday night. Feel free to give me a like or subscribe or whatever you want to do. But in any case, yeah, be back. We talk poetry, we talk creative writing, we talk role-playing games. Sometimes, I'm going to see if I can fit this into my schedule again, but I'd like to go back to doing some more game development stuff, so you get to see me in a different capacity. But in any case, we're usually here 3 times a week doing Interloper and usually some sort of weird challenge. Thank you all, and we'll be back again.